Alexander writes, and today we'll be discussing my first pen show, which was here in Portland, Oregon. It was the Pacific Northwest Pen Show. It was this last weekend. I was able to attend on Saturday. I'm going to be discussing just overall thoughts. This was my first one, and so I didn't know what to expect. So this is a pen show through the eyes of a beginner. I'll talk about things that I saw, vendors I interacted with, as well as products that I was able to purchase. If you would like, subscribe, and comment, that would be great. It's you guys that I make these videos for, so I just want to say thank you. And as always, I hope you enjoy the video.
We have our new shop. We have our California.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Then you're good.
This one's huge. I don't know how you get this one.
I didn't know.
Okay, this one's actually, I like this.
I know, I do like it too. I wish it wasn't so huge.
On black
That one, it was like kind of like a sparkly silver purple.
It is the 15th of July. I am just under 6 days before I fly out to Ireland for our vacation. So I wanted to squeeze this video in pretty quickly before I left. So you'll see that there was some footage of the vendors at the pen show. One of my favorites was the Travelers Company booth, and I could just have spent so much time there. It was one of the more popular booths. They had all of the products that we love so much on their website that were available, and I was able to pick up a couple things just really quickly. One thing I will say, my first impression of a pen show, I was a little overwhelmed. I didn't know what to think. It was in a hotel here in Portland, Oregon, and I had checked in by myself, and luckily they had set up an intro to pen show class, which was just an additional $5 on top of your ticket that I was able to participate in. That was first thing in the morning. It gave me a 30-minute first look at the booths before the general public, which was nice. We had someone who gave a class and just a brief description about each vendor, and I felt that was very helpful. I wouldn't take the course a second time. I feel like once you do it the first, it is pretty good at preparing you on what to expect. There will be opportunities to meet other vendors throughout the pen show. I just thought as a first time goer, it was the best to have someone kind of walk alongside you and to show you the do's and don'ts. So I showed up at the convention. I was escorted to a little meeting room, and there was a couple people who also attended. Our speaker, I think his name was Michael, gave a brief 20-30 minute presentation about just fountain pen, pen show 101. They gave us this cool little pen show 101 sheet, and it lists just the things that you should do, like setting a budget or having cash, because vendors do prefer to use cash, to bring your favorite notebook. That way you could try inks out. to bring a bag in case you bought things. Just very basic stuff. It did also go over what not to do. So these were what I was looking forward to most. I didn't want to do anything I wasn't supposed to do, and one of those was not to post fountain pens. There were some people that were not familiar with that term, and it was super cool to see people who are completely new to the hobby that were at that show. As someone who has been a fountain pen enthusiast for the last couple years, it's nice to know that there are new people and people who've been in the community for 20 plus years, which was the case for the guy giving the Fountain Pen 101 class. And also, as most people would assume, it wasn't a flea market environment, so you could kind of haggle on price a little bit, but a lot of times these prices were almost as good as they were online. I know that for Travelers Company, their prices were actually better than they were online, which I thought was incredible. I've bought a couple different things from other vendors through the internet, and it was a little bit more expensive, so it was kind of cool to see the Travelers Company booth with decent prices, but it was also kind of hard because then you kind of opened yourself up to purchasing quite a bit of things. Cool thing, this little note sheet that you got was actually printed on Midori paper, which I thought was pretty interesting. Sometimes you think that they would just print it on normal standard printer paper, but they actually went the extra mile and printed it on paper that was fountain pen friendly. So I think that's a cool touch, something that I thought was really, really cool. So starting out, I will go over some of the things I found. So one of the booths that I found after the Fountain Pen 101 course was Writer's Shop. And they have an Etsy account. I'll link it in the description. It's not open right now because they are traveling because of the pen show, but it will be open again according to their Etsy page. But one of the products I had, they had diamine ink vials there, $7, which is $1 cheaper than it is on jet pens. So that was cool. But I found something I've been looking for quite a long time. You guys have seen in previous videos that I always use a blank notebook to test new fountain paper or new fountain pen inks. So I found an actual book that I could actually test them in and keep. And so they have this product that's called the catalog. And essentially it is a binder ringed collection of paper. And this paper is, according to the back, it's 50 sheets. It's 207 GSM. It's acid free, and it's printed here in the US. And then every dollar for the sale of this book will go to a no-kill cat shelter, which is pretty sweet. I saw these pretty quickly, and I knew that I wanted to get one. I believe I only paid like $12 for it, which is pretty good, all things considered. And so essentially, with this binder system, it allows you to take pages out and move them, which I thought is awesome. But essentially, here's what it looks like. And you will see me use this in newer videos, but essentially you have all of the information that you want to document your different inks with. You have what type of ink it is it high or low saturation, is there shading, you can make some notes. And this paper, they had a couple different demonstrations of different inks on it, and it works very well. They even used it as watercolor paper, and it actually held up pretty good as well. So that's pretty cool. This also lists, like what kind of pen you used, the brand, the name, and the color. I think it's kind of helpful for people who have multiple inks to kind of know what their ink looks like, and it will also save you having to use a random journal to do your ink tests. So I will be using this going forward for all of my new ink bottles. I'll probably go back through the ones I have currently and include them in here. That way I have all of my inks in one. Like I said, there's 50 sheets, so there's 50 opportunities to record your different ink. They do sell these on their Etsy shop, which I did say I will link in the description. Looks like they will be in a pen show, and then they will be back on the 22nd. So here in about a week, their Etsy store will be opened again. They are based here in Idaho, so in the US. So I'm not sure how shipping would work for international, but if you're looking for a place to record your ink swatches, this would be a good option. So I purchased this first. And I want to say really quickly, the Pacific Northwest Pen Show was really good about making a list of events that you could sign up for. It was broken up on over 3 days. And so the first day was Friday. There wasn't as much there. I didn't go that day. Saturday was the day that I wanted to go because it had the most opportunity. There was also Sunday. So for instance, some of the things that we were able to do, and you would have to pay an additional charge on some of these. So just keep that in mind. But there was, Pen Show 101, Fountain Pen Basics, Creative Journaling, Exploring Ink, Writing Practices for Pen Lovers, Experimenting with Handwriting, Doodling as an Art Form, Fitness for Sedimentary and Creative, and Cursive Italic. So there was a couple different courses you could take spread throughout the day. So this is really, I think the intention behind this pen show was that you would be there from morning to night. I only was there like probably 3 to 4 hours once I had done a pretty big damage to my wallet. I decided it was time to go for the sake of my finances. And so on to the really cool thing. So a couple other vendors that I had engaged with. So we did get to go to Oblivion, which is here in Portland. I've actually never been to their storefront, but they are a authorized Travelers Company notebook dealer. We also met up with someone from the Letter Writers Social. And so this this group is really interesting, and I'll put their information in the description. If you are someone who wants to get back into writing letters or to be in contact or correspondence with someone, it's a paid subscription, but essentially it allows you to connect with other people throughout the U.S. and hopefully one day international that you can swap letters with monthly. Basically, it's a community that's cultivated for people who enjoy stationery items as well as receiving and writing letters. So I'll put this in the description. That's the name. You can find them on, looks like Instagram at Letter Writers Social. The owner's name is Sarah. She's really, really, really nice. And so I would recommend checking them out if that is something that you're interested in. And then obviously the best part was Travelers Company. So I actually got to go to the Travelers Company booth. And I should preface that the Pacific Northwest Pen Show is pretty small in comparison to a lot of the other ones. There's I think there's one in San Francisco and there's one in Washington, D.C. that's pretty large. This one was about maybe 20, 25 vendors. There was nib grinders, there was homemade journals, ink vendors. There was actually brand companies there, Travelers being one of them. So there was just a bunch of different stuff for every price point. There was beginner level, intermediate, and there were vintage pens, and some of them went up to about $500. So that way beyond my budget, but certainly there was something for everybody. When we stopped upon the Travelers booth, I had a lot of things I wanted to look at. A lot of things. With my pocket journal, I was able to get some more inserts. So I finally picked up a lined insert, and then I got a dot grid insert. And this is what I use in my every day. I use this. I carry this on me. So I was able to get some more inserts at $4.30 a refill, which is fairly good, all things considered. So yeah, I was super excited to find that they had every insert imaginable. They had fountain, or they had I can't think of it, watercolor, postcard, craft, journal, diary, planner, everything. They had all of the different refills, and it was so incredible to see everything all at once, but it's also so many things screaming at you all at once. You don't really know what to do with. I picked up some more stuff, some more refills for my regular Traveler's notebook. like I said, I'm taking this with me to Ireland, and as you saw in the video of my wife flipping through that traveler's notebook, it kind of inspired me to do more collecting in that sense, where you are actively traveling and pasting in pictures and ticket stubs and things that you found along the way. So I hope that I can accomplish that while we're taking our road trip in Ireland. And also, pretty cool thing, I think I convinced my wife to get one as well. This is the Traveler's Notebook in their blue colorway, which was the one that you saw in the video. So I don't know if it doesn't quite show up too well on here, but this blue is like kind of a turquoise color. And so here it is in comparison to mine. And so obviously she just has the one refill in it currently, but she was super interested and super inspired to potentially start her own. And so that was an awesome experience. I'm super thankful for that. And so we got this as well, which again is just their standard blue traveler's notebook. Obviously it comes with the blank insert, but she has the intention of also using this while we're traveling. So maybe we can both keep each other accountable and get these filled out. I really wish we would have had this system set up when we went to Europe, or European trip last year, and also our Scotland trip the year prior. But, you know, it's something to start now. The one thing I found about that journal that you'll see in the video is that there were things and places that were even local to me, but just they didn't matter where they were at. They were just documenting where they had been. I think that's more interesting than going to these extravagant places and finding these cool things. I'm kind of a saver, so I do have every stub or ticket, or, you know, when we went to see the Harry Potter exhibit in London, I still have all those things. So I could go back and do a scrapbook or something like that in my traveler's notebook, which I think I will do, so I have it for the future. But again, like it's something like, even if you're going to coffee for a day and you want to paste in a coffee receipt, that's super okay. Also, one thing that's super cool about Travelers is their stamps. They were the only booth that had stamps, and I felt like once I saw that they had stamps at their booth, I've seen them in other countries, I just had to get some. Let me see if I can actually find them in my Traveler's Notebook. Okay, yeah. So we have this one right here, so you could get the Traveler's stamp, and then there's also this one here, which says, you know, visit pass. So I didn't put a date in, but you could put a date in when you visited them. And then there was also this other one, which is super cool. It was a quite large stamp, so have a good day, good music, good coffee, and a good notebook. So those were super cool. You'll see I stamped them in the video as well. And as a first time at a pen show, I just was so encouraged. I was so encouraged by how nice people were. Sorry about that. My phone looks like it just filled up on its storage. So as I was saying, I was just really encouraged by what I saw at the pen show, and I just wanted to share it with you guys. It was a place where I felt like, regardless of budget or experience or skill, that people could come together and kind of just kind of talk about their likes within the community. And I definitely will go next year. I'm looking forward to when they come back, and hopefully when I'm on my trip, I have already mapped out a couple stationery stores that I want to stop at. So I'm hopeful that I can do some more stationery shopping internationally as well. But other than that, I will say they did give out this cool little Traveler's Times. Unfortunately, looking at their map, they don't actually have a store in Ireland. They have one in Reykjavik, which we're flying through, but we're not going to be able to get out of the airport, which is kind of a bummer. But maybe another time. But I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope my experience... I hope you actually were one of the people who was there. I hope I'm able to connect with people who actually attended that show. If you haven't attended a pen show before, just look up to see if there's one in your area. They do them all over the U.S. They're in all of their countries. You just have to do a bit of research. So other than that, this will probably be my last video before I take my trip. I will be taking a video while I'm there, so don't worry. But if not, I hope you have a great day. Make sure to like and subscribe for new content. And again, thank you so much. You guys are the best. Thanks.